Did you know that the average person buys 60% more clothing items today than they did just 15 years ago and keeps them for half as long? This staggering statistic is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to our modern buying habits. Over the past few decades, there's been an undeniable surge in consumerism. It's not just about having more, it's about wanting more, buying more, and ironically, enjoying less. Every year, millions of people flock to sales, chasing the latest trends propagated by fast fashion and tech industries. This relentless pursuit of the new not only empties our wallets, but also fills our homes with items that quickly lose their allure. The environmental toll is heavy, with landfills brimming with last season's desires, but the psychological impact is profound too. As possessions pile up, so does stress, clutter, and dissatisfaction. This surge in consumerism begs the question, what's the alternative? Minimalism isn't just about owning fewer things, it's about intentional living. Imagine a lifestyle that strips away the superfluous, focusing on what truly matters. This is the essence of minimalism. At its core, minimalism is about simplicity and clarity. It's not merely a design aesthetic characterized by clean lines and neutral colors. It's a philosophy that advocates for less clutter, both materially and mentally. The principles of minimalism revolve around the idea of quality over quantity. Instead of amassing a large quantity of items, minimalists seek out items that are meaningful and of high quality. This approach extends beyond physical objects to include experiences. Minimalists often prioritize activities and experiences that foster a sense of fulfillment and happiness, rather than accumulating material possessions. This philosophy helps individuals focus on their personal growth, relationships, and experiences that enrich life. It encourages a shift from asking, "Do I have enough?" to what makes my life truly valuable. So how does shedding excess stuff lead to a fuller life? Let's explore some real-life transformations. Meet John, a former corporate executive overwhelmed by his high-flying lifestyle. Imagine waking up day after day to a life packed with back-to-back meetings, a constant stream of emails, and an ever-growing pile of possessions that seemed more burdensome than beneficial. This was John's reality. Despite his success, he felt like he was merely surviving, not thriving. John's journey into minimalism began on a particularly stressful day when he realized that his luxurious, cluttered home and office didn't reflect who he wanted to be. They were filled with things that demanded his attention and energy, but didn't provide any real satisfaction or joy. He was living in a world of excess, where the mantra seemed to be more, more, more. But John asked himself, what if less is actually more? This pivotal question led him to declutter his life, both physically and mentally. He started with his environment, removing items that he hadn't used in months, and donating clothes that no longer represented his current self. Each object he let go of seemed to lift a weight off his shoulders. Then he moved on to his commitments, learning to say no to projects that didn't align with his values or contribute to his well-being. The process wasn't overnight. It took months of introspection and gradual changes, but the outcomes were profound. Professionally, John discovered that with fewer, more focused tasks, he could increase his productivity and creativity. He began to lead his team with a new philosophy centered on quality over quantity, which resonated deeply and led to more meaningful achievements. Personally, John found that minimalism brought him closer to his family and friends. With less time spent managing possessions and more time available for relationships, he nurtured connections that were more fulfilling than any material goods. Today, John lives a life that might seem less glamorous on the surface, but is richer in every aspect that truly matters. He found peace not in possessions, but in the spaces between them. The Smiths were an average family of four, drowning in possessions and activities. Their home was a tableau of modern life, closets overflowing, a garage that no longer fit cars, and a schedule so packed that the mere thought of a free evening was a fantasy. But then, something shifted. The Smiths stumbled upon the concept of minimalism, and it sparked a curiosity that was hard to ignore. Initially, the transition was met with resistance. The parents, John and Lisa, struggled with the sentimental attachments to belongings they hadn't used in years. The kids, meanwhile, balked at the idea of parting with toys and gadgets that had long lost their luster. It was a challenge, convincing everyone that less could indeed be more. The strategy they adopted was simple yet effective. They began with a family meeting to set clear goals and discuss the benefits of a minimalist lifestyle, not just in terms of space, but also the peace and time it could reclaim. They introduced the concept of a one-in, one-out rule, where for every new item brought into the house, another had to leave. Each weekend, they dedicated a few hours to decluttering, starting with the least used spaces. The process was slow, but the results were visible, and that motivated them further. As the clutter cleared, so did their stress. The house became easier to manage, leaving more time for family activities. Relationships within the family grew stronger as they spent less time managing belongings and more time enjoying each other's company. Financially, too, the benefits became apparent. Shopping trips decreased, and with them, impulsive buys. The transformation had its most profound impact in the evenings, once characterized by the chaos of cleaning and managing a household. These were now spent in laughter, games, and sometimes blissful quiet. For the Smiths, less became so much more. Every item we own carries an environmental footprint. Imagine this. Each product we buy has a journey before it even reaches our hands. This journey often involves extraction of raw materials, manufacturing, and transportation, each step leaving its mark on our planet. When we embrace minimalism, we start to lessen these impacts, one choice at a time. Let's delve into the environmental benefits of minimalism. By purchasing fewer items, we're not just saving money, we're also reducing waste. Each year, millions of tons of waste are generated worldwide, much of which comes from household items that could have been avoided. Minimalism encourages us to buy less but choose well, focusing on quality and longevity over quantity. This shift not only decreases the amount of waste going to landfills, but also lowers the demand for new products to be made. Moreover, minimalism can lead to a significant reduction in carbon footprints. The production and disposal of goods contribute to a large portion of global carbon emissions. When we decide to buy fewer, more sustainable items, we're effectively cutting down on these emissions. It's like planting trees with every non-purchase, allowing the planet a little more breathing space. Now consider the social impacts. Minimalism advocates for more ethical consumption patterns. When we choose to buy from companies that are committed to fair labor practices and sustainable materials, we support a market that values human and environmental well-being. This can lead to a ripple effect, encouraging more companies to adopt responsible practices. Minimalism also frees up our time and resources, allowing us to invest in experiences rather than things. This can lead to deeper connections with our communities and a more mindful approach to life. It helps cultivate a culture that values presence over possession, leading to richer, more fulfilling social interactions. In essence, minimalism isn't just about having less, it's about making room for more of what truly matters. It's about making choices that not only simplify our lives, but also protect and nurture the planet. Minimalism isn't just good for us, it's essential for our planet. Feeling inspired to simplify? Starting is easier than you might think. Embarking on a minimalist journey begins with embracing a mindset of less is more. Consider starting small. Choose one area in your home, perhaps your wardrobe, a junk drawer, or your digital space. The key is to focus on decluttering and organizing this space thoroughly. By starting with a manageable area, the task feels less overwhelming and more achievable. Next, cultivate a habit of mindfulness about what you bring into your life. Before making a new purchase, ask yourself if it's truly necessary or if it serves a purpose that isn't already met by something you own. This approach not only reduces clutter, but also helps in making more intentional and meaningful choices. Throughout this process, keep in mind that setbacks are part of the journey. Each small step taken towards minimalism is progress, even if it doesn't feel monumental at the time. Remember, minimalism is a journey, not a destination. Imagine a life with less clutter, less stress, and more space for what truly matters. As we journey through the concept of minimalism, we've uncovered its profound impact on individuals from all walks of life, from the busy corporate executive finding serenity in simplicity, to the family of four discovering joy in having less but cherishing more. Minimalism isn't merely about owning fewer possessions. It's about prioritizing our mental and emotional well-being over material wealth. It encourages us to peel back the layers of excess in our lives, revealing what's essential: relationships, experiences, and personal growth. This lifestyle shift not only benefits our personal lives, but also echoes through society. It fosters a culture of sustainability, reduces waste, and promotes a healthier environment. It's about making mindful choices that align with our core values, creating ripples of positive change. As we've seen through various stories, minimalism offers a path to a more deliberate and fulfilling life. What will your story be?